Amid the quiet forests and what seem like harmless canopies of trees, there exists one of the most cunning tricksters in the natural world. It is not a predator with sharp claws, but a small bird called the cuckoo. It does not build nests, it does not raise its young, and yet the cuckoo continues its bloodline flawlessly by manipulating, deceiving, and taking advantage of the hard work of other birds. In this brutal game of survival, the cuckoo has become a master of evolutionary trickery. They do not build nests, they do not incubate eggs, and they certainly do not raise their chicks. Instead, cuckoos spend most of their time watching and spying. A female cuckoo can silently observe a pair of other birds for several days, memorizing the exact location of the nest, their feeding routines, and the moment when the mother bird leaves the nest. When the opportunity comes, it acts with astonishing speed. In just a matter of seconds, the cuckoo swoops down to the nest, tosses out or eats one existing egg, and quickly lays her own egg in the empty spot. The whole process happens so fast that the host bird rarely notices a thing. By removing one egg and replacing it with her own, the total number of eggs in the nest stays the same, which keeps the host bird from suspecting anything unusual. What is even more incredible is that cuckoo eggs are not all the same across different species. Over millions of years of evolution, each type of cuckoo has developed its own egg style that almost perfectly mimics the color, pattern, and size of the eggs laid by the specific host bird they target. Some cuckoo eggs resemble the host's eggs so closely that even humans can hardly tell the difference. This is the result of a fierce evolutionary race where only the cuckoos with the best camouflaged eggs are able to pass on their genes. If sneaking in an egg was already an impressive act of deception, then what happens after the egg hatches is far more disturbing. Cuckoo eggs are often evolved to hatch 1 to 2 days earlier than the eggs of the host bird. While the other eggs are still lying quietly in the nest, the baby cuckoo is born, blind, featherless, and yet already carrying a chilling instinct. Just a few hours after hatching, the baby cuckoo begins to carry out a behavior that has stunned scientists. Using its specially curved back, it pushes out each of the other eggs or chicks in the nest one by one. These helpless victims fall to the ground and die, leaving the baby cuckoo as the only survivor in the nest. What is remarkable is that this behavior is entirely instinctive. It does not need to be learned or observed. Even cuckoo chicks raised in artificial conditions, having never seen a real nest, still perform this exact same egg-pushing action as if they were in the wild. Once it has taken full control of the nest, the baby cuckoo enters the next stage of manipulation. It cries louder, opens its mouth wider, and shows stronger begging signals than any normal chick. The host bird's brain is triggered into full parental mode, constantly bringing food back to the growing imposter. Within just a few weeks, the cuckoo chick can grow to be several times larger than its foster parents, and yet they continue to feed it, driven by an overwhelming urge to care for what they believe is their own child. In this play of survival, the cuckoo not only takes over the nest, it hijacks the very instinct to nurture in other birds. What surprises me the most is that millions of birds are willing to raise this intruder as if it were their own. In reality, most bird species never verify the identity of their chicks. Their nervous systems rely on very simple visual and auditory signals: an open mouth in the nest, a begging call, and a shape in the right place. As long as these elements are present, the host bird's brain activates the full sequence of caregiving responses. The cuckoo has evolved to exploit this exact blind spot. While still inside the egg, its shape and color are crafted to blend in perfectly with the host's eggs. After hatching, the chick produces a special kind of call, louder, more intense, and more urgent than that of any ordinary chick. This sound convinces the host bird that the chick is desperately hungry, forcing it to bring more food than usual, but it does not stop at sound. The baby cuckoo's mouth has also evolved to be more stimulating. Inside its mouth are often bright colors and reflective patches that make it easier for the host bird to spot and react to. To the host bird, what it sees is not an invader, but a super chick calling for help. Even as the cuckoo chick grows at an abnormal rate, far outgrowing what would be expected of the host's actual offspring, the foster parent's brain has no mechanism to compare. It doesn't realize the chick is too big to be its own. It simply responds to the cues that evolution has programmed it to follow. Over millions of years, the cuckoo has fine-tuned every detail: its shape, its sounds, and its behavior to match perfectly with the caregiving system of other birds. This is not just deception. It is a near-perfect form of biological manipulation. The relationship between the cuckoo and its host birds is not a one-sided story, but an ongoing evolutionary battle that has lasted millions of years. Every time a bird species learns how to detect foreign eggs, the pressure of survival forces the cuckoo to evolve even better tricks. This is one of the clearest examples of an arms race in nature. Some host birds have developed the ability to spot cuckoo eggs by noticing slight differences in color, pattern, or size. Once detected, they may push the odd egg out of the nest, or even abandon the nest altogether and build a new one. For them, losing a batch of eggs is still better than raising an imposter that offers no genetic benefit. In response to that pressure, the cuckoo does not stay still. With each generation, the cuckoos whose eggs look most like the host's eggs are more likely to survive. Over time, each group of cuckoos that parasitizes a specific bird species has developed its own egg line. Some lay pale blue eggs with brown speckles, others lay white eggs with fine markings, all adjusted to trick the eyes of the bird species they target. The deception does not stop at the egg. Cuckoo behavior has also continued to evolve. They have learned to choose nests that are harder to find, usually hidden in more concealed locations. They often target bird species that have strong caregiving instincts but weaker abilities to recognize imposter eggs. And so, every step forward by the host birds is met with a new counterstep by the cuckoo. This battle has no final winner, only species constantly adapting to survive in an ever-changing world. While the cuckoo is the most famous bird for its deceptive breeding strategy, it is not the only one on Earth to use it. In the bird world, there are more than 50 species classified as brood parasites, meaning they delegate all egg incubation and chick rearing to other species. In the Americas, there is the cowbird, in Africa, the honeyguide, and in Australia, some species of long-tailed birds use the same method. However, the cuckoo is considered the true master of this strategy because of its unmatched level of sophistication. No other bird has such a complex fake egg system, such precise nest invasion behavior, or chicks capable of eliminating every competitor in the nest quite like the cuckoo. Although the breeding behavior of cuckoos may seem cruel, they still play an important role in nature. Cuckoos are highly effective insect eaters, especially when it comes to toxic caterpillars that many other birds would not dare to eat. Thanks to this, they help control populations of harmful insects, protecting trees and forests from pest outbreaks. Moreover, the presence of cuckoos creates evolutionary pressure on other bird species, forcing them to develop better ways to recognize intruders and protect their nests and eggs. In a way, cuckoos contribute to making the ecosystem more dynamic, where no species is allowed to remain stagnant for too long. In nature, harshness is not necessarily a bad thing. It is a driving force behind diversity and adaptation. Cuckoos are not evil animals, nor do they consciously deceive in the way humans understand. They are simply the product of millions of years of evolution, where every trait, from the color of their eggs and the cry of their chicks to the precise timing of their actions, has been sharpened to serve one single purpose: to pass on their genes to the next generation. In the natural world, the survivor is not always the strongest or the fiercest, but the one who adapts best to its environment. And in the art of surviving through cunning, the cuckoo is truly one of the most astonishing masters nature has ever created.